Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday. The S&P 500 was down 0.07% today. So really very close to being flat for the whole day. The NASDAQ and the Dow were both up slightly. Small stocks actually had a bigger down day today, but it was an interesting day because today was the day that we had the CPI report for inflation come out, and it was a little bit worse than expected. It actually came up a little bit for the month versus the last 2 months. Was on a nice downward trend before that. Core inflation has done better in terms of the trend. It was down from last month, but it was still higher than expected. So, inflation continues to be a little bit sticky. And this is the big concern right now is looking at, what's the Federal Reserve going to do? Or are they going to be lowering rates? And when might they be lowering rates and those types of things? So obviously, if inflation continues to hang in there or continues to even go up a little bit, they're not going to be lowering rates as soon as the market seems to think. So the market reacted to that. We were actually down about 0.8% during the day. And so it kind of looked like we might have a negative day, but the market fought its way back all the way almost to even again, which I think is a really good sign. I think you have to watch for those types of reversal days. And it got right back up near the all-time high again. So there's some buying power coming in this week that we're seeing. Nothing substantial like we were seeing back in November, that's for sure. But still, there's some interest in trying to drive this market or buy some bargains when they come down and what have you. So I think that's a very good sign. And I think today, in the end, was a pretty decent sign. We'll have to see how this inflation plays out because, again, the CPI is not the main measure that the Federal Reserve looks at. Because of it. It has a weird basket. It has a weird way of calculating the rents and all those types of things. And it's what most people are familiar with. But PCE, which comes out at the end of the month for the month prior, so at the end of this month, we'll get to find out what happened in December. That's a much more watched index for the Federal Reserve. And again, when they talk about getting down to 2% inflation, they're talking about getting core PCE, which is minus food and energy, getting that down to 2%. And so right now it's at 3.15%. So we'll see where that goes. I will say that I think, there's an awful lot of talk about recessions, government shutdowns, the situations that's happening in the Red Sea and what have you, all of which are potential threats in different measures. But I still think inflation itself is still one of the more important threats to the market, if it reinflates itself again. So that's something we watch for. A little blip on a 1 month basis, who knows? But I still say that the economy and consumer spending is a lot stronger than most people think. And sometimes that can create some inflationary pressures. However, it also has to do with how much supply we can bring on to offset that. So if you have limited supply and a certain amount of demand, if demand goes up to even just a little bit, you're probably going to see prices go up. But if supply can come up with the demand, at an equal rate, you might not have inflation. Matter of fact, if supply starts to get up higher and faster, come in faster than demand, and that could be for services, that could be for goods, you'll actually see, inflation slow down. There was some threat here that, inflation could actually turn into deflation, which again, I talked about yesterday. That's generally a good thing that we would look at as consumers. Prices going down is awesome. But from a business standpoint, it's a really big problem. So, that seems to be a little bit more in the background now with this slightly uptick with the CPI. So, but let's wait until the end of the month to see what's going to happen. So again, I think the big win today was the fact that the market reversed and came back up. I think that's a good thing. So we'll see if it can break through to the new all-time high tomorrow or next week. So look forward to seeing you at the show. Do my live show from 12:15 to 1 o'clock Pacific time. Go to YouTube, Talk Money with Tom. I do a summary of what's happened for the week for the stock market at the beginning, and then answer questions live, on air, so to speak, for the rest of the show. So look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.